Wendy's brother Jody was sadly had his life taken. Was murdered last year, 2016, and I think Wendy just wants to know if he's okay and whatever, if there's any message he's got about the murder or what a grim thing. Terrible, isn't it? What we'll do, we'll use these mediumship cards. Each card's got, as you know, each card's got like a pre-written message on it, and then whatever Jody feels fit to leave the cards after they've been shuffled, then that's where hopefully there'll be some sort of message conveyed. I've got this this thing I found, this four archangels thing. It's really the four guardians of the front, behind you, left and right. Your four guardian angels there. A lot of shamanism and stuff believes in, you know, shamans and that believe in that sort of thing. So just pop that there, and might just have to move it about if there's not enough room for these cards. I don't think there are going, so what I'll do, I'll just pop it there, and then it's just a bit more out of the way-ish till it's moved again. So what we'll do, just get these cards here, and we'll just, as a shuffle, just say, Spirit of Jody, we ask for your presence. Commune with us, Jody, through these cards and move among us. Spirit of Jody, we ask for your presence. Commune with us, Jody, through these cards and move among us. If you've got a message there for your sister Wendy about what's happened, Spirit of Jody, we ask for your presence, that you commune with us through these cards and move among us. Blessed be to Jody and all absent friends. And we just cut the deck there, as you can see. And when it splits as well, it is at its most energetic point. So now the top becomes the middle, or the middle becomes the top, doesn't it? So we'll just place these cards here, and then we'll just see what comes out. And I normally, whatever's normal, whatever is normal, of course, I normally pull out 3 cards. What happens after that is anybody's guess, isn't it? So welcome to our setting, Jody. Nice to have you present. I'll just have a quick wet of my whistle with this hot cup of coffee that I prepared earlier. So no doubt in the spirit world Jody's made one as well. And I suppose Wendy's going to just pause the video or something and put the kettle on herself and make one. But anyway, either way, that duty done. Let's see now, Jody, what you've got to say. What we're going to do is just pull out the first card, I think. Let's just see what we've got there. What we'll do, just rotate it, you know, flip it over, just nice and slow, so as not to disturb its energy. Just out of respect for Jody, let's just see what. Isn't that strange? Look at that. I just turned the hourglass there just to start half an hour. It's an hourglass, but it's a half an hour hourglass. I find the half an hour. I've got an hour, of course, but I find the half an hour is just enough time if you don't want to spend the whole hour. I tend to run the whole hour one if we do a full Kanzari reading. It's just a rough idea that the hours run down, so you better turn the camera off quick before the card runs out, because we've got about an hour and 20 minutes normally for that. But anyway, less of the technical and back to the basics. This card here, as you say, each one has a message on it there, and the message on this card, as Jody's just saying to you there, Wendy, he's just saying that there is no time where I am. Time is only on the earth. So basically you can talk about it till you're blue in the face, but it doesn't mean anything to me where I am, because I'm beyond time and space. I suppose with his sad, with him being taken so tragically there, as you would say, and that happened at a period of time, didn't it? But of course, where I am now, Wendy, is of course, is of course of no use to me, or of no concern, in the sense of, notice how there's like a rose inside the hourglass, because there's no need for sand. So I suppose the rose just indicates, I don't know, love, or just indicates that, well, something happens in time, but there's nothing to measure it anymore. We use clocks and things, don't we, to measure time and things, like we use money to measure wealth, although actually money itself isn't wealth. Well, I'm sort of thinking along those grounds, I don't know. A clock itself isn't time, is it? It's just a means of measuring it. Why I'm suddenly thinking that, I don't know. Maybe whatever, if it was to do with money or something, if he was murdered for money, or I don't know. Sometimes you get mugged, can't you, and beaten up and killed just for a couple of pence or a couple of dollars or something. Little old ladies tend to get clobbered with that one. But if it was for money, maybe you'd have to remember, I suppose, money at the end of the day, it only means something because we all agree that it does. We all agree that it's got value, so that's the only reason it has. Other than that, money isn't worth a thing. And what was it all about? Why I'm thinking that, I don't know. I could be wrong. I hope I am, really. But nevertheless, either way, it doesn't justify taking somebody's life, does it? Not that we're trying to justify it. I think we're more trying to justify why I've just said what I've said, I suppose, really, or sort of create a connection with this time. I'm in a timeless space. I'm beyond time and space now, Wendy. That's what he's saying. Let's pull the next card out. Let me just let me just wet me whistle. I needed that. Just know where you needed yours, and like you needed yours, and no doubt, and maybe Jody did like a cup of coffee. I don't know, but either way, let's just get this card here back to Jody again. There, Jody. Let's see what else you've got to say for your sister. Let's just pull that card, as I say, just nice and slow, not to disturb its energy or anything like that. And he's just saying that, I wish I told you more often how much I love you. I don't know, I mean, I suppose we can all feel guilty for not getting on with somebody, or not telling somebody enough or whatever. And he looks as though you've got a bit of regret there, doesn't it? Jody, that probably you just maybe the benefit of hindsight is I tend to call this the benefit of hindsight is a wonderful thing. There's a few cards with these sort of messages on. I call them the benefit of hindsight is a wonderful thing cards, and this is one of them, in the sense where spirit's just got regret, where in this case, because spirit has a name, and it helps because we know who we're talking to then. And Jody's just probably got regrets. Doesn't mean he didn't love you there, Wendy. I think he just clearly means that he just wish he'd bloody told you. But as you say, the benefit of hindsight is a wonderful thing, and we can all. I think really it might be crying over spilt milk. Really. Maybe that's what it was, and because I was taken so early, so prematurely, I didn't get time with the time that I could have done. But the time now, remember, notice that link there, the time is, I suppose, irrelevant really. Time is on the earth, so really, because I'm in a timeless sort of space, I'm beyond time and space, I can go back in time and tell you I love you. So effectively, I may have already done it, although I didn't do it as often as I should have done. Wendy. Maybe I'm doing it now, but obviously you just don't remember because I can go back in time and you can't, so there. Right, in that sort of sense, I don't know if that's what the message is, so it's, I suppose you could say, well, let's pretend he did, but in the sense maybe he is going back in time and telling you, but you just obviously can't remember because it didn't happen for you, but for him, maybe he did. I don't know. I don't know if it's one of those paradoxical things. Well, if I could go back in time and kill my grandfather, that means I wouldn't exist. It's one of those sort of things, isn't it, Jody? Where, well, I just wish I'd told you more often. And for as much as I can go back in time now, because time and space I'm in a timeless sort of dimension, as you would say. It doesn't make anything any better. So maybe, I don't know. Let's just see what the next card is, and we can sort of try and link them up if there is a link. But we just wondered if there's any sort of message about how anything happened or whatever. There you go, Luke. He's just saying it's not your fault, Wendy. Okay, I wish I'd told you how much I loved you and stuff like that. I think he's trying to take the blame here, aren't you, Jody? I don't know, but it seems as though I wish I'd told you how much I loved you, Wendy, but it's not your fault. It's not your fault. My passing is not your fault. I know, I suppose you could wish you were looking out for me, or you wish you were there at the time so you could have frightened them off, or done whatever it was you did, or you could have bailed me out if it was something like that. I don't know what it was. I'm just thinking of me in a sense. I'm just sort of speaking from my sort of angle, not Jody's angle, and just sort of working out some sort of idea of why that would be. But he's just saying, whatever happens there, Wendy, it's not your fault. Don't go blaming yourself. There's nothing you could have done. You have to live in a cruel world, and other people are to blame, not you. Don't go trying to take the blame for something that is not your fault, because it isn't your fault. And I think that's really maybe the main message he's trying to convey, trying to put over, really, about how or why is irrelevant to some degree. I don't want to say it's irrelevant, but in the sense of time, I'm in a timeless dimension now. The past, while we can define ourselves by what we did in the past, but we have to define ourselves really by what we're doing now, not by what we did in the past. I did that then, and then it moves on to what I'm doing now, and then what I might do, of course, is irrelevant. But in that sort of sense, you can't judge anybody or judge yourself by what you did then. What you did then, you did then for what you felt was right at the time, didn't you, Wendy? I think that's what Jody's trying to say, isn't it, Jody? You're just trying to say that in the sense of, but don't judge yourself for what you did in the past. Don't define yourself by what you did in the past or what you think you didn't do even. Define yourself by what you're doing now. That's the most important thing, because that's all you can do. But of course, putting aside guilt and shame, and putting aside your judgments, let go of your judgments and things, and that's where forgiveness can come in. I suppose, of course, it's easier said than done to forgive those who did it, but nobody's asking that, really, are they, in a way? I suppose it's a good thing if you can do it. Personally, I couldn't, but that's me. We do not forgive, we do not forget. Expect us. And I couldn't do it, but some can. But either way, it is not about the culprits who did this. This is about Jody, and Jody's just saying, whatever you do, Wendy, don't blame yourself. It's not your fault. You aren't the one who murdered me. You're not the one who took my life so prematurely. what you could have done, that we should do, that we could do, we should do when we would, but this would changes in abatements and delays, as the Hamlet, the Shakespeare, as Claudius said in Shakespeare in Hamlet. But either way, there's nothing we can do. It's all the benefit of hindsight, isn't it? But whatever you do, it's not your fault. And I somehow feel another card coming out here. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm going on too much. I don't know. Let's just pull out this other card here. I just want to see if Jody's got anything to say on there. Yes, I was dreading that one coming out. He's saying, please forgive me, Wendy. I'm sorry, please forgive me. I don't know what this is about. I sort of dreaded that one coming out. That's why I didn't want bloody pull it out. It's a similar sort of thing. It's not your fault. I'm sorry, Wendy, please forgive me. Maybe saying I'm sorry, please forgive me for having to say this to you, or what, I don't know. But there's something he's regretting. I wish I'd told you. I wish I told you a bit more. I loved you, Wendy. Just to go through it briefly, and just to see if you can find a link, really. The main messages on these cards. Remember, he wouldn't actually say it. He may not say it exactly as it's written. He'd say the sort of thing. It's like a phrase book from the other side, isn't it? In the sense, the first thing he said was, well, Wendy, of course, there's no time where I am. Time is on the earth. I wish I'd told you more often how much I love you, Wendy, but just remember, it's not your fault, and I'm so sorry, Wendy. I really am sorry. Please forgive me. I don't know if I'm sorry, please forgive me for having to tell you this, or if there's something that maybe he felt he wanted to apologise for, didn't get the time to do it. I suppose in a way, because not because, but in the similar sort of way where you were feeling a bit guilty, and he's telling you it's not your fault, in the same sort of or similar sort of way. He's saying, but nevertheless, it's not your fault. But I just want to tell you that I'm to blame for certain things. Maybe it's nobody's fault. Maybe for as much as you want forgiveness, Jody, maybe it's not your fault neither. You're not the one who murdered yourself. If you were, it'd be suicide, not murder. So maybe that itself, maybe we got two of them at it here, brother and sister. Sister's blaming herself for something that happened to her brother, and brother's blaming himself because maybe, I don't know, was he in bad company or something? If only didn't keep bad company, it wouldn't have happened. Or if only hadn't turned out, crossed off the bloody road at the wrong time, wouldn't have got hit by that car. I don't know how it happened, I'm afraid, Wendy. Not bloody psychic, you know. Not a mind reader, actually. But either way, we are still human beings, and we still have our faults, or have our flaws, then, as you would say. It's all right for some who are on the spirit world, who see everything and know everything. That's okay. But for the rest of us on this plane, we just have to remember, though, don't we, Jody, that love is the law, love is the bond. So for now, Jody, I think merry did we meet, merry do we now part, and merry may we meet again. And with that, we'll just grab Jody's cards. We'll just put them all together like that, and then what I'll do, we'll just flip them over like that. And then we'll get the rest of the deck here and just pop that on top. Just to lay Jody to rest. And we just say, blessed be to Jody and all absent friends.